Hello friends of Sally Antiques. We've not done a long video for quite a while, so we thought, you know what, it might be interesting to present you a range of rifles that we have in stock. So we thought that it would be a smart thing to do the more unusual Mauser models that we have. So we'll not present any of the German Second World War models because they are quite common, everybody knows about them. We've done a video quite a long time ago when we actually were a bit less experienced and we were learning about them, especially myself. I got a lot of comments from you. Obviously, some people said, "Oh, this guy doesn't know anything." Well, that guy learned quite a lot since. And I would I've arranged them in a sort of a historical order, so they will make sense. This first one that I would like to present to you is the oldest we have in stock, is the model 1871-84. And the most interesting thing about this is that it was used as a film prop in making the film The Last Samurai, and we bought it from the film studio and we actually have the certificate with it. It's a very nice piece. It's been made in the Spandau arsenal. And this is one of these Mauser rifles which features a tubular magazine underneath, right? So is the time when they would actually use tubular magazines rather than stag magazines. It's a very interesting rifle for its time, and you can actually find it on the website and you can buy it of us. You have to lock the magazine in order to put the ball back. This is cocked on locking. So if you look at it carefully, you have to actually, it's like the later K98 where it locks when it actually cocks when you lock the magazine. We'll go further. I'll try to go as quickly as possible through them because you can find details about them on our website, and you can find more pictures. This is my favorite one because it's actually complete. We have the one for the bayonet with it. It is decommissioned. It's sort of a new spec, if I remember correctly, so it will still cock and dry fire, but is deactivated. Is one of those deactivated with the yellow certificate. This is the Gewehr. I think it's the 1891 model. Yes, the 1891 model made in the Erfurt factory. So this one actually uses this very peculiar magazine, which had a hole at the bottom here. And when they started using it in the First World War in the trenches, they actually covered the hole with this plate. The hole used to be used to eject the stripper clip, but they rapidly realized that there was a problem because mud will come in, there'll be various issues, so then they dropped that idea and they patched it. What's interesting about this rifle in particular is, I'll try to get bayonet out to show you. It's not very easy, it's been there for quite a while. If you look at the barrel is jacketed, so you have a jacket on top of the barrel used to cool down the barrel, which is very interesting. As far as I know, this the only Mauser model. There might be another model, so I think it might be the 1905 variant of this particular rifle, which has the same jacket, but they were not used extensively. These particular rifles equipped some armies of various nations, amongst which my country as well, Romania, during the First World War and during the Second World War. So they used to have the variant of this particular rifle. The bayonet was slightly different, but otherwise it was more or less the same rifle. So we have this in the shop. It's very cool, it's very interesting, so you can come and have a look at it if you wish. The next model we have here, let's try not to do any mistakes. This is the 1896 model Mauser. This is interesting because this, like the Lee Enfield, yeah, has a spring action, so you have to actually push and lock. This will give you some sort of a speed when you shoot, so you will shoot quite fast. It's not as secure as the 98 bolt, but it will allow you to charge, to fire the discharge gun really quickly. The interesting thing about this, it was used by the Boers, and also I think this is the one that the Americans copied when they did the Springfield. I might be wrong, but it's very, very similar. So this is one of the 1896 models that we have. We do have another one, if I remember correctly, which is here. This is actually made in Berlin. That particular piece might have been an export one. This one is not, and is actually in probably better condition than the other one. We've never had two here, so this is quite something, and I really love these particular models. Again, the Boers in the Boer War, they used to use some of these. Going forward, something interesting which attracted my attention. So this is a Mauser. It's a 1904 model. I'll turn it the other way around. This is a Portuguese export variant, right? So this is the 1904 Portuguese variant with, if you look at the Portuguese crest, and I'll tell you why, because we do have another Portuguese one coming a bit later, which was a Nazi export, but this is obviously the Imperial German export piece. Quite a nice smooth action. It works like a dream. So for you enthusiasts out there who really like to have an iconic piece which has a brilliant action, well, this is something to kind of look to. Also, you have an ejection system for the magazine spring. I'll try to kind of put it back together without making grease everywhere. So definitely something to look at. The next one that people probably don't appreciate enough is the Turkish Mauser. So it's a variant that the Turks received from the Imperial Germany. This one is actually a later model. Let's see, this is dated 1940. So this actually, it's a sort of a World War II era production, but is very similar. Unfortunately, this one was deactivated in such a way that the bolt is a bit loose, but it's still interesting because we do have the bayonet with it, which is in a fairly good condition, and is yes, quite different than your regular Mauser. Is a bit longer. It resembles more like the models made in Belgium, and it's really something to look at. By far the rarest piece of all of them is this. This is a Mauser made for Congo. There's two variants. This is the 1930s variant. This is made in the factory of Herstal in Belgium, and is fitted with a model 1916 bayonet. This one fitted both the previous rifle, which was a bit longer, and this carbine. This was exclusively made for the colonial forces in Congo. You can't find it anywhere else in the world in this particular variant. It's very interesting. It preserves this very, very peculiar magazine, which is more a reminiscence of the models made in the last decade of the 19th century. But I think it's a very interesting collectible piece. Unfortunately, I don't have a scabbard for this bayonet, but they don't seem to be very easy to get. So it's something that I thought, you won't see every day. Even if the scabbard is not here, the rifle is in good condition. So I decided to just keep them together, and I think it's a really interesting thing. The bayonet is very long because obviously they have to be able to match the long rifle with the bayonet attached on it, or as much as possible. So they need a good length on the bayonet to match this. But again, this is made especially for Congo, so it's quite an interesting addition. Going forward, this is a Belgian model, again made in Herstal. This is made in between the wars. A lot of these equipped the partners of the Axis. My country, again, Romania, used to use a model like this. But ours was made in Czechoslovakia actually, but the design is very, very similar. You have this kind of very specific aspect, or with like the wood, which is covering the entire barrel, and the sight literally comes out of it. And the CZ Mausers made in Czechoslovakia for Romanian army were very similar with these Belgian ones. I don't know if it was the same pattern, or if the Czechs bought it from the Belgians or from the Germans, I don't know. But they are very, very similar. So if you do reenactment, let's say, you try to do a Romanian army reenactment, and you can't find the Czech variant of the Mauser, this will do the trick, because it looks the part. Remember that we're talking about the Portuguese. Well, this is the Nazi Germany export variant. You have a 1937 crest here. And these, if you look very carefully, so to see if Alistair can actually show us the Waffenamts, you'll see the eagles, stamped all across. The Portuguese bought quite a number of these German rifles. They bought machine guns and all sorts of other things from the Germans. And it's interesting because you have different aspects which are slightly different than the K98, like the way you attach the sling on them. It can be attached on the side or underneath. In the normal German stock, the sling goes through the stock itself, as you can see on that variant, where we'll get in a minute. Again, this is quite a nice piece as well. It has loads of German Waffenamt stamps. Literally every single part is stamped. It's a brilliant piece. Like the other one, you probably noticed or not, but if you didn't, we'll show you straight away. They have these muzzle covers, very specific to the Portuguese. And if you look at the front side, there's this V notch covering the sides to keep them protected. And I think that's very interesting. And we can compare the two rifles, which are from different eras. There's a few differences on them. Probably one of the main differences that you notice is the fact that the bayonet lug looks slightly different. I think they fit different bayonets. I'll have to try, or I didn't have the right bayonets to fit them with, but yeah, there's some differences. This is quite interesting. Again, we never had both variants, so this is very good to study. As you can clearly see, we have the bolt, which is straight, like most of the rifles in the period of the First World War, pre-First World War, and here, well, actually, it's folded like that to be easier to carry. And I will do a digression. I know we're doing Mauser rifles, but before going to the last one, because we were talking about the Portuguese, I want to show you something here, which is also a Portuguese piece of gear. It's an export, and that was done again in the 1930s, is this, right? So this is the MG13 machine gun. This is basically the machine gun that was used before the MG34. Is fed with the magazine on the side here, and we have plenty of magazines. It's very interesting because Germany sold a lot of these to Portugal. Apparently, I remember watching a video somewhere on YouTube, and one of these kind of specialists was talking about the fact that some of these might have been re-imported to Germany at the end of the war. If it's like that or not, again, I don't know precisely, so I'll not say it's true or not. But this particular piece, it's an old spec. It cocks and dry fires. It's really cool to have, and we have the magazine pouches, so you can carry extra magazine in it, like a rucksack. We have a box with magazines, right? And these are they look like this. And also, this piece comes with, as you've seen, the anti-aircraft tripod. We have a bag with tools, with a flash hider, with a sustained fire tripod, and also we have a container with for the 2 barrels, which has 1 spare barrel in it here. So it's a complete kit. You'll not see these quite often. Also, it has a loader and a manual, which is very, very hard to get these days. Right, let's go back to the last Mauser rifle that we have in our collection, which for me was interesting because whilst this represents clearly the Nazi Germany as a weapon, this particular rifle is actually made for Israel. So it's quite ironic that the weapon which was designed by the enemies of the Israeli nation ended up being used for fighting for the freedom of Israel. And this particular piece is made in Belgium for the Israeli forces. As you can see, it has a very specific trigger guard. I think the light went off. We have a bayonet that's quite different. It has the profile and design of the normal K98, but the stampings and marks are quite different. This particular notch, which helps you to put the bayonet into the frog, is actually mobile. So there are some differences. This particular large trigger guard is very useful when you wear gloves. So in the winter condition, cold or whatever, this actually helps you to put the glove through it. It's stamped 762, and also we have the Israel crest on it. So quite a nice piece. It's something that you can think about. It's a good collection. So feel free to kind of go on the website, browse, look through all the Mausers we have. Obviously we have other examples apart from these, but I thought that it would be very nice for you to see the ones that are a bit more special, a bit different than your regular either Gewehr 98 or carbine 98 that was used in the Second World War. This being said, we'll see you next time, or we'll try to put another episode together. As you can see behind us, we have a very nice collection of Mamluk swords, so probably that'll be the next subject to talk about, because they all go back to the Crimean War and they are variants again of the same weapon. And in these kind of longer episodes, that's what we'll try to follow, to see variants, to see different models and designs. Till the next time, goodbye from me.